Jessica, welcome.
Hey,
So glad to have you on the podcast, and I'm so excited to learn more about you and the cool things that you're doing in our community. You are an artist,
mhm,
you're an art teacher, and you live here in Southwest Michigan. I mean, that's some of the stuff that I know, and what I love about this podcast is that some people I've talked to, I know, some
mhm.
people I have no idea who they are, or maybe I've heard their name in passing, or they're connected in some way through friends. And so I've seen some of the great artwork that you have done. You even have some artwork behind you. So when people see this video, they'll be able to see some artwork. But first, let's start from the beginning. Were you born and raised here in Southwest Michigan?
Yes, I was born like most people right over there in Lakeland.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been
Okay.
here all my life. Short time I was in Battle Creek, but came back.
Wonderful. And so, what was life like for you growing up here in Southwest Michigan?
It was good. I had a good childhood. It was living in Benton Harbor. I don't know. It was sweet, I guess.
And so, you grew up in Benton Harbor. Did you go to school at Benton Harbor?
No, I actually went to school in Coloma.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, and being an artist, when at one point in your, I mean, school, did you realize, okay, I want to do this. This is fun. Like when your art classes in
Yeah.
elementary school and in high school, they teach you the basics and all that stuff. And some people they realize, some are better than others. But at what point did you say, I enjoy this? This is fun.
Uh, Probably before school. Like, I just always gravitated towards art or creating something. Like, I've always been, like, my parents, if
Mhm.
you ever, for Christmas, like, my favorite gift would be that box that had all the other color markers
Yeah.
and color pencils and all the art supplies and stuff. And I would sit and draw and, paint or be in the basement that my mom was like, she was like, you can go down in the basement and do all your creativities, like make a mess down there. You want to do finger painting and stuff. Like I was always making something.
Yeah.
So
And so
yeah.
your parents encouraged that and said, "Yes, that if you wanna do this, if you like doing art, like, yeah, you have a designated area, go ahead and do that." How much of a mess did you make? Because I know anytime I've ever had art supplies, it has just been an absolute mess, and I sometimes wouldn't clean those up, and my mom would get a little upset with me. But did you, kinda keep this as like, "Okay, I need to have my art area, and if long as I don't make a big mess, my parents will be like, "Okay, you can continue to do that."
Pretty much. I was never like super messy, but I was just, messy enough type thing. So like I usually kept my stuff like in a little space.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too messy. I think maybe once I drew on the walls, and that's about one time, I think, but other than that, I kept it to paper for the
Oh,
most
so
part.
you only drew on the wall once?
Yeah.
And what was that so, okay, so that happened once, but w what did you draw? Did you just kinda said, "Okay, I'm gonna scribble on something," and then, this wall looks nice. Why don't I just draw on that?"
It's my parents' fault. I am not even really sure if they know that it's there. I've seen it recently. It's
Oh, it's
behind their
still there.
door. Yeah, it's still there. It's behind their door. I think it looks like a little dinosaur, like
Okay.
a brontosaurus or something.
That's awesome. I hope that
Mm,
they don't know it's there and then they'll just find it. So that would have been how long ago?
I have no idea. This is before I don't even remember drawing it, so I know I was very young. Like, I know it was me, though.
That's so awesome. I hope that they find it, like, even, like, 5, 10 years from now, and then just they're
Mm,
opening up a door or closing a door, and they just realize because that's, like, a big surprise, and, so
mhm,
if your art takes you even to where you get, like, world famous, that
mhm.
could be something that someone may
Yeah,
go back and
they
cut out of
can
the wall.
They can cut the it's on, I think wallpaper, so you cut the
Okay.
little piece of wallpaper off and sell it for millions one day.
That is so awesome. That is so cool. And I mean, obviously, and being an artist, you learn so many things from so many people. What would you say? Who would you say is one of the biggest inspirations for you? Whether it be an artist that you love, or maybe there was a teacher or person that you really are inspired by.
Oh, well, I guess I can say I was very much inspired by all of my art teachers. Shout out to my art teachers from Coloma, Mr. D, Miss Mascaco, Miss Johnson, and even some of my substitute art teachers. I still remember them. Mrs. Walters, all of them.
That's so awesome.
They're huge inspirations. To say something, I don't remember names, but I remember my art teachers' names. Like they
Yeah.
did make a big impact on me.
That's so great, and obviously, having great art teachers, and that's so important, and I mean, in some schools, they're getting rid of some art programs and really not
Yeah.
focusing on the arts, and obviously, it's been something so important in your life. What would you say to if a school board or a somebody that said, "We're gonna get rid of our art program next year," what would be your moment to, talk? What would you say?
I would say that's like a huge mistake. Like art shapes our world. Like uh art is so important. Everything everywhere you look, if there wasn't any art, we everything would be so bland. It would be just for like purpose only, I guess, instead of nothing would be inspiring. Like art helped me in more than just like being creative, like in my career as a graphic designer and stuff. It's also helped me like, get my emotions out. It's helped me like understand how I'm feeling and things
Mhm.
too. Like art does so much for so many different people. You can't and getting rid of it for children, like you don't want to stump somebody's creativity. Like art just sparks creativity. Like what if you want somebody to make the next, I don't know, be the next Steve Jobs or something
Yeah.
like that? They need some creativity, or at least know how to like use it.
Absolutely. I mean, you learn so much, and I've always said is that the thing about art is that it is connected to everything else that you're teaching. The mathematics, the
Mm,
science, all of that is all intertwined, and to take one element out of that is just like taking an element out of some sort of substance.
yeah,
It's not gonna be what it was before.
definitely.
So, and I'm glad that your parents and any family members, they encourage that art. So you said it's an emotional escape and things like that. Um, so when you are making art, what goes through your mind when you are making something?
Uh, Usually positivity, of late. Like my process, usually I get myself in a super good mood before I paint because that's what I want to portray. That's what I want to put out there in my art. So like I'm probably before you catch me painting, I'll be playing music and dancing around the house or playing with the dog or something. And then like I get myself in a good mood until I'm like, okay, I can paint.
Mhm.
I can really put that emotion into the art.
If you're not in a good mood, do you not paint? Do you feel like you have to be in the right mindset in order to do it, or do you
I
channel whatever
prefer
you're feeling?
I prefer like so say this back here,
Mhm.
I was actually one of the few times I painted when I was angry.
Okay.
So like I kind of like by the end of me painting that I was perfectly calm. So but I don't know, lately I just had the feeling like I want to be in a really great mood when I paint.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, those are waves, correct? Behind you? So the
Yeah.
waves, I can tell the anger of the waves, and that there was obviously, if you were calm and just feeling great, it would probably be a totally different picture of waves, don't you think?
Probably would. like, some people see waves, like, I like how people look every time they come to my house, they're like, "Oh, that is so cool." And it's like, "Is that mountains or is that waves?" And, like,
I
I
was
was like,
thinking a little bit of both.
yeah, it's like, "Maybe." Like, I don't I like people just to come up to their, own conclusions, like, "Oh, you see mountains? That's cool. Tell me more about what you see when you look at it." So,
It's like a almost like a Rorschach test.
mhm.
You know, you look at that and say, "What are you feeling right now?" I feel like that would be a perfect thing to have in, like, a therapist office.
Yeah, it
They
probably could work out like that.
and conversations about what people see in art is just, it's very interesting, but your work is, from what I've seen, um, how would you describe your paintings and you do paintings, you do drawings, what other forms of media do you love to do?
Forms of media, mostly just painting and drawing, and, being a graphic designer, so digital art there too, but mostly painting for right now is I've been in acrylic art a lot, acrylic paint.
What's the
Yeah.
weirdest thing as far as art, that y have you tried some other things that, like, maybe you're not comfortable with, like, say, sculpture or anything like that? Have you, dabbled?
I want to get into sculpture. I haven't like since like high school, I haven't
Yeah,
dabbled in it, but I used to do all kinds of different things before I like kind of picked painting and
yeah,
drawing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that because, I mean, what I see is very vibrant colors and, just really cool stuff, and you actually I saw recently somebody commissioned you to do a piece of art, right?
Yeah, I was very happy with how it turned out. Like, it was my neighbor.
Okay.
Uh, like he just randomly saw me one day packing up my car with all the art and stuff on the way to like art in the park.
Mhm.
And he was like, "So you paint your own art?" It's like, "Uh-huh." He's like, then he's looking, and one day he's like, "Well, how much?" And like we talked about it, and he just he was like, "All right." And then he went into the house, disappeared real quick, and I said, "Where's he going?" And he came back with a picture of him and his wife, and I was like, "Okay." It's like we not do this then. So
That's
yeah, it turned out really good. Surprised, like at first I was kind of nervous because they're right next to me. So if they hate this, it's
mhm,
gonna be like dang. So like I don't want to paint them and then it's like, oh, that doesn't look like me at all, or
right.
that's like so it's a little bit like you have that little bit of fear, but then also I'm like, I'm gonna do this because I want to do this. I want to do this for more people too. So I just it turned out much better than I thought it was done going to,
Did
but yeah.
Was that the original? Like, you didn't start and stop and throw something away? That was what you jumped right in and did it, right?
I redid one of their faces.
Oh, okay.
I did redo one of their faces because I was like, "I'm not happy with this." But other than that, like, after I did it the second time, I was like, I just need to use brighter colors right here," and I think that was a problem, and yeah, it turned out good, and, like, I just heard from him that his wife really loves it. I haven't spoken to her yet,
That's
but
fan
she loves it. She put it up and hanging up on the wall and everything in their house.
that's so awesome. What's something that, absolutely excites you right now?
Uh, just where life has taken me, actually. I'm very much excited about how my journey with bringing my art like publicly out started. Like, and just like every step since then, it seems like I just like you contacting me or
Mm,
somebody's like next year we would like to do a mural or like those type of things just keep on coming to me more and more, like reassuring me that this is something that I should be doing. This is something I should keep up with.
yeah. No,
And yeah,
I totally agree, and I've seen, I mean, just from, this past summer and these past, arts in the park and things like that. Yeah, and gallery shows and things. You had
yeah,
your first gallery, was that your first gallery show at, I think it was ARS, I believe you had
ARs.
a gallery show there?
Yeah. Well, first official one, like
Okay.
technically when I was in While I was still in school, my I have an aunt that's has is the director of Upward Bound, and she
Mhm.
was having a art show slash talent show, and I was like an unofficial member of Upward Bound because I would go there, be with the kids and the tutoring and stuff too. And she was like, you should bring your art and stuff." So I had the most art there, of
Okay.
course, and it was kind of like a little show there. Like I was remembering this because I was looking at your questions and stuff. I was like, what if he asked me about that kind of stuff? But yeah, that's like one of the things I actually forgot about recently. But yeah, that was kind of like my first art show. But Anna is the first one that's been like a real like gallery,
Okay.
and it was really great experience.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And what's that been like for you? As you said, you're growing as an artist
Mhm.
and doing more things in the community. And I think Benton Harbor is so wonderful when it comes to encouraging great artists and really especially people that are from here in Southwest Michigan and highlighting some of the amazing artists, not only just in gallery shows, but like I'm excited to see a Jessica Hightower mural somewhere within our community. I think that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I got contacted recently by someone wanting to do a mural, in Benton Harbor. He wants me to, be a part of it, like, help design it too,
Yeah,
and I'm super excited about that. That's supposed to be happening next summer, so have more information soon, but
that's
yeah.
awesome. I'm super excited about that. I need to convince people at the radio station to get a mural of me on the side of the building at the radio station, and you would be the
Yes.
person I would definitely have do it.
Yes, that definitely needs to happen.
'Cause we've got
This
the I mean, if you've driven by, everybody that's driven by, we have this very good blank canvas on the outside of the building. It's just
and
very
it needs your face.
it needs well, either my
Yeah.
face or something else. I mean, I would encourage my face to be on there because
Mhm.
they already put my face on the side of a van,
Yeah.
could now put it on the side of the building, but so what's that been like for you, as you have grown as an artist in this community and it being the community that you grow up in as opposed to, say, a community that you move to, like a bigger city or something like that? What's it been like to have Benton Harbor embrace that?
It's wonderful. I mean, I love my city, and I'm glad that they love what I'm doing. Like, it's it's great to be embraced by your own people, like
Yeah,
them encouraging and you to do stuff, them you know, calling you to make sure that you're the first one that can get on a project, or they're letting you know about all these different things that are happening. Like, I'm very grateful. Like,
that's awesome. At
yeah.
what point did you realize, I mean, was it when you got your first, commissioned painting or your first gallery show? At what point did you realize, "Okay, I'm an artist, I'm not just somebody that makes art"?
Uh, have I realized
Have you yeah,
that?
that's another question. Have you realized do you consider yourself not just
I
Jessica Hightower, you are Jessica Hightower, the artist?
I do realize that. I definitely do. I think I do. Like, it's just, I guess after the gallery, or yeah, during the gallery time, and when we were doing the show and I had my friends and I had my family there, it's like I can definitely do this. I can be the artist.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
and
awesome.
that's how I kind of introduce myself when I'm doing the little shows and stuff. It's like, are you the artist? Yes, I am the artist.
The artist, yes. That you
Yeah.
then you just get to a certain point where you're just the artist, or maybe you just go by one name, like you're just
like
Jessica or
like
something like
Prince.
that. Yeah, like Prince, exactly what I'm thinking. What is and I'm gonna stay in the art realm and because I'm always, excited about art, and I always love to hear how artists do what they do because 'cause I'm so fascinated by it. I've dabbled, I've taken art classes and done things
Mhm.
that some people have said, it looks good." But, what would you say is your favorite color to use in your painting? What is the one that you say, "Well, I've gotta put this color in there somewhere?"
Surprisingly enough, I am really into neon pink right now.
Neon pink.
Yes, and my mother could tell it better than me. I absolutely hated pink growing up, but I don't know why it's just so bright and pretty, and I just love it. Like my favorite paintings right now that I've done are like they have the neon pink in them, and I'm like, this is I love looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
neon
was
pink and
close. Yeah. What's the other one?
blue.
Blue. I was
Yeah.
thinking red because I saw something you did and it seemed like, yeah, those vibrant reds and the I think I saw a pink, the neon pink in there.
Mhm.
And that's what I love about it is that they're very vibrant, eye-catching, and it's just it's awesome, and I think it's great to see somebody do something like that. Um, and so what is your favorite tool to use? I mean, you're using a paintbrush, but I mean, what other things do you use when you're making art that you'd say, "I've gotta either scrape
What
here or do that?"
well, mostly I'm using a paintbrush, but I love using spray paint. So, all of them, I start off the backgrounds. That's where I get that neon pink. Like I can't get that out of the tube. Like I had to spray it. And yeah, that's using spray paint is fun right now. And then also like right now I'm experimenting with putting texture into the spray paint
Hmm.
backgrounds and stuff. So crumbled up newspaper is a
Oh,
nice tool to do that with.
that's awesome. What music do you like to listen to when you are doing a painting?
A lot of neo soul or like Afro beats.
Okay.
So like Erica Badu,
Yep,
like to
yep.
listen to that. And then like I think his name is Wizkid. I like him. That kind
Certainly
of
gets you
music.
in a good mood.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
and good mood and good rhythm. That's what you need is upbeat music that gives you a solid rhythm that you can continue to do the art and it
Yeah.
certainly keeps you in that happy emotion for sure.
Yeah, I love it. Like totally like I stop and I'll start singing and dancing and then get back to painting and then like that's the whole mood the whole time I'm painting.
That's so cool. And you
Yeah.
recently, have been teaching as well. What's it been like to be now, okay, an artist or a kid that
Mhm.
started, drawing on the walls in your parents' house, but then, going to school and studying art and doing that, and then also having a show and a gallery and being a commissioned artist, but now you're at that other level of an artist where you're now teaching the art to
Yeah.
younger kids in the next generation. What's that been like?
That has been very interesting, start off like I don't know what I'm doing. Pretty much. But like you just have to remember like I got some good advice from Nathan, the last guy you
Yeah,
interviewed. He told me, you just have to remember how you learned or, remember what steps you take to do this.
yeah.
So it's been real fun. Like I started with Boys and Girls Club, working with Krazzles and through them and teaching the teens there uh, painting and drawing and different things. We've done like I showed them how to do spray painting and stuff on canvases and how to make stencils and drawing and the basics of like drawing faces and stuff. And it's like real interesting also like getting these kids like their confidence up
Mhm.
because like I don't know what it is about like teenagers. It's like they've lost their like, oh, I only did that when I was a kid, or like they've forgotten that still can play and they still can be creative,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. No,
So
that's totally true. I mean, and then and younger there's at some point in their life that maybe they, had you, experience where your parents or some other teacher just said, "Stop doing that." A lot of
yeah,
times, if you're told, "Stop doing that," you say, "Okay, well, then I'll do something else," and then you never go back to something. Even if you loved doing it, you never go back to it, and like you said, you gotta keep their confidence up, and teaching, we were
Mhm.
talking before we started is that high fives to all teachers because that is a challenge, in many
Yes.
different ways of not only accomplishing the goal of the lesson, but also
Yes.
the other thing of keeping everybody on task and keeping everybody's, emotions in
Ooh.
check and all that.
Yeah, definitely. Especially like so now where I'm at Crazzle and I'm teaching younger kids, I think they're all around like 8 to 10 years old. Most of them are 10 in the class. And I thought my first day teaching them, I thought I was doing pretty good until like around the last 30 minutes, I was like losing control there. So they all got hyper. They started getting up and walking around, pointing out different things. And it's
Yep.
like, just get these seats. And oh my gosh, where'd the kid go? But but my second class was much better, and it's also fun to see them grow and their confidence and them like because I had one young girl that she was like the first class she was like I can't draw, I'm not good at drawing, and then like
Mhm.
but I worked with her the second class because she's not a bad drawer at all, especially for her age, and I'm like you can do this, and like I helped her draw a horse, and it looked pretty almost spot on to what I wanted her to do, and she was, like, super excited about it. She's like, "I'm gonna show my dad and my brother and, like and, my family that I can draw and that I can do this," and it's like, "Yes."
That
It's
is,
like
I know if teachers could get grades, I would
mm,
say that would probably be an A plus day for you because you get something like that from a kid, that is so inspired by something that you taught them, which is awesome. So, what would you say is, the biggest challenge you've faced in life so far?
the biggest challenge I faced in life so far. Mostly just learning that I'm my own biggest hit enemy. Like, if I can get past my own criticisms, I can do it. I can do what I need to do.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and I think,
Mm.
like you mentioned, Nathan Margoni, had you had him not now, but as a child, from my conversation with him when he was a kid, like you said, you teach them you're teaching kids kind of the same stuff that you were taught as a kid, but for him, it sounded like more of, when you become the teacher, do try to teach some stuff to not be like you were as a kid, because it didn't sound like he was the most on task student, which, hey, not everybody is, and that's I mean, you can
Yeah,
say, "Well, I'm just being more creative."
you
Right.
could.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can say that. So what would you say is probably the best piece of advice that you've gotten from whether it be, your family members or, maybe a teacher? What would you say is a solid piece of advice that you maybe pass on to some of the kids you're teaching or other people you know?
Uh, I thought about that question. I was like, the only thing I can really think of is something that my grandma said. Like, is really she would say it to about just about anything. Is just keep on living.
Mhm.
It was pretty much her answer. Like, oh, I'm going through this or that. It's like just keep on living, honey. Like, you'll get through this. You'll learn more, and you'll figure it out.
Yeah. No, that's great advice.
Yeah.
So where is Jessica Hightower going now? Where are you headed? Where do you see the future for you?
Say my name in lights. No, I'm just playing. Uh,
Or a mural on the side of
uh,
a building. That would be awesome.
yeah, definitely. Like, I see myself continuing my art. I see myself one day owning the studio. Like, I've actually been in talks with some people I've met about maybe making that happen in the next year or so. Like, I have big goals for what I'm going to do, and also continuing to do art in my community. Like, I don't want to. I want to do things here.
Yeah.
Like, I do like, going to the bigger cities and all that kind of stuff. I probably will, but like I want to build here though.
Right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
building not only art, but building the community and continuing to do that. Because like you said, I
Mhm.
mean, you could have a gallery show in New York and still live right here in Benton Harbor.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that art is the best part about art and artists is that they can see the world, but they can be wherever they wanna be because that's where they're gonna make their best art. And it's interesting to see when artists go to different places in different parts of the world and how their art may change. Somebody that's in
Mhm.
uh, an acrylic artist in Chicago is going to paint different things than what you might. Um, so, what would you say? We've been talking a lot about Jessica Hightower, the artist.
Mhm.
But what is something that somebody should know about you besides, that you're an artist?
Somebody should know about me. That I'm pretty approachable. Like, you come up to me and talk about anything. I'm a pretty open person. Also, I think I value time a lot. So, like, when I'm talking to somebody, I'm really gonna listen to them and really, if we're sharing our time together, it's just
Mhm.
gonna be me and you. I'm not gonna try to go to my phone or start texting. Like,
Mhm.
we're gonna have a real conversation. Um, and I guess know that I care about my community and yeah.
What would you like to see, happen in our community in Southwest Michigan? What would not only your dream of having your name in lights, and maybe a Jessica Hightower, commissioned mural on somewhere within the community, but, what else would you like to see happen in our community in the future?
Well, I see how wonderful our community is. Like we have these beaches, we have all this potential. I just want to see it grow. I want to see everybody in the community grow along with it too. Like I want to see us people that are in the community own the businesses that are starting, and like I know that we have all these different things that come here, like PGAs, and
Mhm.
we even had recently a concert here. Like
Yeah,
I want people to know how wonderful we are. So I want like the people in the community to benefit from that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Last question. If you
Mhm.
were to title an autobiography, what would you call it?
That's this
It could be
it.
something funny or it could be something inspiring, whatever fits you.
I thought about this and I was like, well, they could do so there's a story that my when I was first born that my grandma again said something,
Mhm,
and I think it kind of speaks to me too because like of how like everything I do is like that I enjoy is very creative. Like even from painting, I like to cook too. So like, or and bake and all that kind of stuff too. And my grandma, she said, she would tell the story that when she first saw me, she looked over at my mom and she was like, "Oh, she's got cooking hands." So like maybe that could be it. Like she's got cooking hands. Like her hands are made to make things.
ah, I like that. I was
Yeah.
gonna say cooking hands, I mean, if I read that book, I'm expecting recipes, but I guess it's your autobiography, so you could talk about yourself and then you could say, "By the way, here's some recipes."
I could.
That's well, the cooking and all that stuff and the baking,
Mhm.
what's your favorite thing to cook and bake?
Uh, I like to bake birthday cakes.
Okay.
Really, that's the funnest thing, like to do for a family member or something like that as a gift is to make them a. As my parents would say, like, why did you bring this big tall cake in here? It would be like 4 layers and it's real tall and super
That's amazing.
decorated. But yeah, as far as cooking, I like to experiment, like when it comes to food. So, like, trying to figure out what different flavors go together. Like, I usually don't cook the same thing twice unless I'm, like,
Really?
asked to. But yeah.
Really? Even for yourself, when you're just making something and saying, "All right, what am I gonna have for dinner? Oh, I had that 3 months ago. I'm not gonna make that again."
It's not really done it's probably gonna be different. It's not gonna be exactly the same.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting. And so
Mm,
that yeah, that is very interesting, and so you wouldn't and being somebody that's a graphic designer, that's where I also would think that you'd be okay with sometimes because that is sometimes in certain aspects of graphic design, you could get repetitive with certain stuff and say, "All right, we have to do this exact thing, and we've gotta do this again, and it's gotta be
that
the
is
same format."
that is definitely with graphic design,
Yeah.
but when I'm in my kitchen, I don't have to do I
Awesome.
can I can play around.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
great. Well, Jessica, I have valued the time that you have given to me in this conversation. This has been just a wonderful time to me for me to get to know you, but for also for people in Southwest Michigan that may not know you, they're gonna know you now. At least I hope so.
good. I hope so too.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.